Anthony. Look at this. You got pea coat on? Dude, you look bougie.
It's B is for
Hands off my date.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Daily Driven Exotics. First of all, check this out. Beautiful British Columbia. Here we are. Welcome to the Okanagan. We have an amazing little day ahead of us. We're going to take the Murcielago. I know the car. I say is bulletproof. You guys say is unreliable. I'm going to prove to you exactly why I love this car. You're going to find out how much we've spent on it over the years.
Tally it up.
Dave did all the numbers. All the times that the car broke down, we got all the numbers, all the figures. And at the end of this video, you're going to find out why I'm keeping the car. Why I will not sell it. Have I lost, broken even, or have I made money? Why? Because that's a very rare car. Has it appreciated? Has it made us any money? You're going to find out. Oh, look at all the cars. So much room for activities in the DDHQ. McLaren key.
Yep.
And we will take the Ferrari key. And then we're gonna get to how much does this car cost to keep, to maintain, to fix? Because when you do something with this car, the engine has to come out. Did you know that, Ryan? Engine, out, out, out. Bad girl. She's also a good girl. Hold on, we gotta do a cold start. 720 with the unobtainium exhaust and downpipes. Sounds really good. Like it's got a good cold start, right? Why you gotta get so close? No! There you go. Wow, we got a lot of cars in here, dude. Just think about how much room's still over here. That's pretty close to the mirror. And another one. Holy crap, look at all the cars. This is so sick! We have cabinets and all that and a new sink going right here. Stoked.
This is great. 2 Benpack stackers coming.
And we're getting an SVJ.
The SVJ, so we
And
have
an
one.
Urus.
We need more garages. Jesus.
And then we're gonna have a 2-stack. 1 car here, 1 car under, 1 car up top, 1 car under, and then we'll have the 2 posts, which technically you could put a car on that lift, put it in the air, and then put a car under it. So we'll be able to get 6 cars right here. And then we're gonna have some form of a little lounge area. But then what we do is we'll leave enough room to put another car here and here. So 8 cars with a lounge and a gym.
That's craziness.
That is craziness.
That's the ultimate HQ.
Ultimate HQ. Let's run down a little bit on the car. So we got the car 2 years ago already?
So we bought the car at the end of 2017.
Holy crap.
Is that right?
I had the car for 2 years already.
2018, pardon me.
Dave's math sucked. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. Jamie, don't cut that out.
This car we bought in Florida at the end of 2018. Alex found it.
Alex found it. Not Alex Choi, Alex Perez.
Perez
found it.
Beautiful head of hair on him.
So he found this car. It was listed yellow with an SV decal on the rear quarter panel. Shame on you on the previous owner. Sorry. It did have the cool kit, which I liked, but it also came, as you guys know, with the stock front bumper, stock rear bumper, and stock cover, which means I can put this car completely back to stock. Most value is in its stock format. However, it looks badass like this. So as long as I own it, it's gonna stay like this. And then I have stock wheels and everything. But right now we got these bougie Brixton forged wheels, which definitely step up the game. We get the car. First thing you have to do is I rip off the SV decal. I take it for its first drive, and I notice it's not driving that well, to be honest. It's been rear-wheel drive converted, which wasn't completed, didn't have the front bracket at the other end of when they take off all the diff, so it had this clunkiness. Like you give it some gas and you let off and it would literally go bang, bang. And I was like, ooh, that's no bueno. So we had to take it to AGX and have them kind of look over the car. They looked it over, they ordered me that front bracket, and what did we find?
We did the front bracket, we did some door struts, some basic maintenance, nothing major that time. But then after some time, we noticed that when you revved it, it was a bit weighted, it didn't rev freely, so we figured a valve adjustment. So the motor came half apart, it didn't leave the car that time. We pulled top end of the motor apart and did a valve adjustment. I helped actually.
And how much was that bill?
That's about $3,500.
Started to beat on it. I thought this car was gonna be okay okay to take a beating right out the gate. Oh, how wrong was I, Anthony?
Yes, you were.
I did some tire slaying in the parking lot at AGX. I did some tire slaying in an undisclosed location in Mexico. So after tire slaying the car, I started to realize that it just wasn't running all that good. What did we do? That car actually from California, I took it around the racetrack and it was driving good enough to have a little bit of fun, but I noticed it wasn't doing 100%. We had to ship it back to Canada eventually to get it registered here.
Yeah, so eventually it came back to Canada after some maintenance, after the wrap from PFS. It came to August Motor Cars where they imported it, and we noticed an issue during the inspection. The axle bearing.
Which is down here, underneath all the back of the engine.
Bearing's $45, but here's the issue with the axle bearing. To remove it and replace it,
that comes out. And the axle bearing basically had the dust cover blown off of it and all the bearings were exposed, which is really bad because if it seized up, it would seize up the entire rear end. We had to get that fixed. The engine came out at Lamborghini, Vancouver.
It did. They pulled the motor out, changed the bearing. Bill
originally was $10,000.
1 second.
But they gave me a bit of a deal. A little bit of a discount, $7,000. And then what happened?
So then you got back to the US, drove it down there.
Straight! Do you know that?
I did.
Straight shot.
Quite the drive.
I drove this son of a 19 hours in a manual V12 Lamborghini. This seat and that shifter and those pedals destroyed me for 19 hours and it drove fine. I went and visited my friends Alex at Sheepy Race and I showed up in this beast and they were like, you really just drove this car for 19 hours straight? You're an animal. After that, we drove around a little bit. What happened?
What? Your wife came to visit and what happened that day? Went for a drive.
So my wife and I are driving, we're ripping around and I was doing burnouts as I do. I was basically dropping the clutch and doing these fat burnouts. And when it does that, it looks really sick. Do this burnout and all of a sudden, bang. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. It's free revving, in gear, going nowhere. So we call our friends at Mr. C's Towing, put the car on a flatbed truck, ship it yet again to AGX, and we inspect it to only find out, I think when the bearing work was done, something wasn't completely tightened because my entire driver's side axle had popped out. Nothing was broken. All it had to be done was that entire hub unit had to be bolted back onto the wheel at AGX, and they were like, you're lucky. Like, we thought you maybe snapped an axle, or we thought maybe you'd blown a clutch or something. People were starting to call this the clutch slayer, because we always thought it was the clutch, but it wasn't. It was always the axle. So it's really the axle slayer. At this point, we're about how much in? Nothing that crazy. So about $15,000. So then we took it across country.
Yeah, shipped it to Detroit. Plycar, thank you Plycar for shipping this car. During the beginning of the rally, before it actually started, we noticed there was some idling issues. So we had to diagnose. No one really knew what it was. Drove for 2 days, and then Damon
through a rainstorm.
And then, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was a crazy.
Dude, crazy rainstorm. Like driving this through the rain, 6 inches of water on the freeway, just like pouring out. But we showed up at a Lamborghini dealership. There were like 2,000 people to greet us.
Crazy. And then that was okay that day. The next day, Damon was going on the freeway entrance, the on-ramp.
And I did a clutch kick. I want to do a burnout again. And I went to drift it, and bang.
That was it.
Again, on come the hazard lights.
And we thought that was the clutch. We actually in that time thought, oh, I blew the clutch up. Makes sense. Clutch went. So Plycar hooked us up, didn't charge us. It really helped us out in that situation. Shipped it from Ohio all the way back to AGX in Los Angeles.
And they got under there and went, this time, you broke an axle.
You actually broke an axle.
Had nothing to do with the clutch. I got a new axle, put it all back together, drove it for a little while, and one night while we were out doing some shenanigans in LA, making a video, all of a sudden, I clutch kicked it, I did a 180, and boom, steam pouring out of the back end of the car. Steam pouring out, and it blew a water line. I caught it in time before all the water came out and the car overheated, so I shut the car down, and we got the water line fixed. Literally at AGX, they fixed it in an hour. Not a big deal, not a big bill.
So then we were prepping for Monterey Car Week, so went to AGX, and then we had a low oil pressure issue. In that moment, got it to a place where it was good enough to drive for the event, and then decided to figure it out later. Did Monterey Car Week?
Yeah, Monterey was great. We hung out with James, the Stradman, Shmee. We got all the cars lined up, did some sexy beach photo shoots, had a wild time in this car. And it was a lot of fun, but it was having this issue where what I would do is I would drive, stop at a stop sign, and once in a while it would stall out. And that's when we knew things were getting a little hairier with this car. Barely made it back to Los Angeles from Monterey Car Week. Disaster kind of struck. We took it to GI, and GI tore the engine out again. They tear it down, found a spun bearing, ordered the bearing, put the whole engine back together, put it back in the car. Now you gotta remember, the car was sitting at GI for 10 months, getting the car back together, babying it. A couple of weeks went by, and then they were like, things aren't running right still. Tore it all back down, and that's when you found the cracked block. Now we're in some really deep water with this thing. Now, I call my good friend Ryan at Exotics Recycling. If you guys have an exotic car, you watch our channel, and you need parts for any of your exotics, give Ryan at Exotics Recycling a call, because he saved us huge. He had an LP640 motor, 8,000 or 9,000 miles on it, which was actually phenomenal, because this car on the odometer has 40,000 8,000 miles. So the new engine in this car is an LP640 engine with only 8,000 miles on it, not what it says on the odometer, which is amazing for this car and its value and all that sort of stuff. We get the new motor. We put the new motor in, about 150 break-in miles on it because we also had a new clutch and flywheel at the time, so we thought. Car comes back to Canada, comes off the trailer, I take it for a little rip, and what do I notice? Like faint vibration. And I'm like, that seems a little weird. I don't remember that being there. I drove it for a little while. We did a rally with it. Beat the out of this
we
car.
had one little incident on a tow truck when we first got it back.
Oh, that's right.
The main belt, the serpentine belt blew up. That was $300 in the tow truck bill, no big deal back to August. Did the rally, went well. And recently, the most recent engine out twice, the vibration issue.
Vibration.
So explain what happened there.
So we find out that the clutch and flywheel in this car came from the manufacturer defected. The balancing was off, and that was creating a vibration. Tried to send the flywheel and the clutch out, and it balanced, but when they put it back in, it actually just made it worse. You gotta remember, they had to put the whole engine back in like this into running condition to find out that the vibration was still there. In fact, worse. Engine out again, ordered a new flywheel, new clutch, put it all back in, fingers crossed that was the issue and it wasn't in the motor or the trans. Lo and behold, runs perfect. 2 years later, all the headaches, all the ups and downs, all the money, we're at a place where this car is basically bulletproof. How much was all of those services, all those engine outs? We were given, thanks to AGX, Mitch and Mark, a lot of free labor.
Yeah.
They did a lot of stuff for us just on the house. So this bill isn't even as big as it could have been, and we're really grateful for them back then and all the things that they did for us. Buy car, shipping the car for free a lot of the time. Multiple $5,000 bills we could have had there.
Yeah.
And Mr. C's Towing has hooked us up to help come save my car at no cost, just to help the DDE fam out. Thank you to all those companies. And GI Automotive with Anthony and the crew there. Huge breaks were given there too, even though I had bills. They could have been a lot bigger. So what was the grand total?
So it's really easy because we're a company, our accountant attaches every invoice to each car in the substructure files, a lot of I emailed her, I have the number, grand total,
Yes.
$87,000.
$87,000.
Every single penny we spent, 87 grand.
So it's $87,000 USD, not Canadian. There is a major difference in the exchange. So this car, if you don't know, was purchased for $300,000. What do you guys think this car is worth right now, market value? They range currently from $500,000 to $600,000. They're probably more like $550,000. I think I was really undercutting the market. There's only one other car in North America currently for sale, a silver one, and it is $580,000, and it has more mileage on the motor and the transmission than my car has. And let's say my car is worth $550,000 market value right now. If I sold the car for $550,000, how much am I still up?
$163,000 profit.
$163,000. Most cars depreciate. So not only has it made money in any video that it featured itself in, or any of those breakdowns, we did make ad revenue from YouTube hosting those videos. It's made money there, and it's made money on the appreciating side. So that is one reason why I don't want to get rid of this car, because it's also supposed to go to how much?
$1 million.
$1 million. $1 million these cars likely gonna go to. At the end of the day, you guys, not selling the Murcielago. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it out and actually drive it. I'm gonna show you how well it runs. And we're gonna jump in the Squadra, and we're also gonna take the Huracan. Why? Because DD is the #1 Lamborghini ambassador on YouTube. And we're gonna show you guys by taking 3 of our 4 current Lamborghinis out. Let's do some cold starts. Guys, this car is driving so good now, and that's why I couldn't let it go. Can't beat the noise. So we're gonna go for a little rip, let out some of these pent up energy we've had because of 2 years of just off and on with this car. Now we can let all that out. Drive this It's like none of the other cars. Insane does this thing sound? And look at the view right in my backyard. Check this out. How's that for a view? How insane does this car sound?
Wow. It's like a fighter jet.
Right?
Literally a fighter jet.
Now you guys see why I'm not getting rid of it. Damn, she just sings.
Amazing. That car's very loud. Someone yelled at me. It's like, you guys are speeding. We're doing 40 in the 50.
It's very loud.
Some lady's like, slow down. I'm like,
we're getting photo op time with Anthony Mad Whips. Look at this. How insane is that shot? Yeah. I'm loving the Murcielago.
Sounds so good, dude.
Right?
There's no way you can get rid of that car. You just can't. You just can't.
Because you could replace it with an Aventador of any make and model, but it doesn't sound the same.
It does not sound.
It doesn't.
Dude.
I don't know what they did to it, but the Murcielago is the best sounding car. It's got so much torque, this motor.
Just twist right up.
Oh, rev it. How much? How much are you gonna take? Hot potato.
$120 is my vote.
Hot potato with the credit card.
How low is it?
It's got the light on for the last 15 minutes.
120.
120?
Anthony, what's your number?
What's your number? How much will the Mercy suck back?
How empty is it?
He asked the same question. Everybody wants to know. You're not getting an edge in this bag. Gaslight was on for the last 15 minutes.
$90.
It's 131.9 per liter for 94. Another fun thing about this car, a manual gas cap that you remove that's billet aluminum. I left this at my Gallardo like this right here, and I drove away from Chevron. I came back within 15 minutes and it was already stolen.
Someone has it on a necklace right now. For Damon Fryer. What?
On my chain, on my chise.
I didn't say 95.
I think it'll do over 100. I think
120.
106. There's no way it's gonna be under $100. Oh! 101. I said 106. I said 106. You lost. 125.
No, it's his.
I lost.
That's cheating.
You lost.
He's a mathematician. He knows he needed 77 liters. He's a math in his head. 131, like Rain Man.
They didn't give me my receipt. I want my receipt. Receipt. I'm going in. How many
times has David told the story of the gas cap? I would bet you told that story 50 times.
I've heard it about 6 or 7.
That and like his first video, I drifted my Lamborghini in the dirt. But there's some one guy walking by and say, nice car, he'll tell that story to that person. Hey, come over here, I'll tell you how I started the channel. Hey, speaking of new clutch, you guys want to do a launch control? Full tires. Alright, let's get a new clutch.
Oh, we're back, dude. That thing is driving so good.
And this is why we didn't get rid of it. I wash my hands of it. Don't ask me again. Am I selling the Mercy? No. For the right price, maybe. But now, here's the question. For the DDE fam, still gonna take it out, still gonna drive it, still gonna rev it because of the V12. Should we take the fuchsia off of it? What do? Do we go crazy? Do we do some dumb again?
Camo?
Camo?
Ryan?
Camo.
I do have a camo wrap that I've designed that is super cheeky. It's a ripoff of another prototype camo. Or do I just do another solid color? Other than that, you guys, smash the subscribe button, join the DDE fam. If you want some Daily Driven Exotics merch, go to shopdd.com. We have some more amazing epic content coming. More stuff to come with this. You guys are gonna decide, what should we do? Camo and crazy, or one solid color and just change it up? This is coming along, that's coming along. That's a big question mark along with him. And Dave's car, well, 1 million horsepower on the way. We're a lot of firsts. We're a lot of been here, done that, got the t-shirt, and you're too late. See you in the next video. Smash the subscribe button. Peace.
Taste your car. So rich I can taste it.
gas. The V12's out of gas. Imagine that.
How's it running?
Runs amazing.
Benvenuti, da vecchio.
So good. We need to go get a biscotti and an espresso. Look at pizza. Yeah, that's how I got fat.